Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1732, 1732. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Café Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont, the last place on Earth. And this is sometimes where I feel like I am at the last place on Earth, with the world the way it is. And packages going to prominent Democrats, and yet in the
Mike's Daily Podcast
conservative media, they still have the gall to complain about Democrats and say, hey,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They were still railing against Democrats for, like, people saying, well, why didn't Trump, I mean, there are just questions there that packages. Now, Trump did say we need to unify, but I have to tell you that the days lately are lumified,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Luminous with the moon as illuminates the sky. It's
Mike's
so full and
Daily
lovely these days.
Podcast.
That's what I have to say.
Yeah!
I'll end that song or whatever that was, on a happy note. Ta-da! Happy note! Is that a happy note? My happy note for you today is that... that's not a happy note. I don't want to talk about the caravan. That's sad. I listened to the New York Times Daily Show. Look who just walked in. They were talking all about there's so many women walking with kids, 3-month-old kids. And up here, we got a president who's saying that there's people from ISIS mixed in with them, and just trying to spread hate. And at the same time, he's trying to unify. Go figure. With these packages, he's trying to unify, and yet he's sowing hate. Look who else walked in. It's crazy, the paradox. And Democrats, apparently, there was a memo that Chuck Schumer and... That's interesting that we got a Chuck Schumer soap opera hit at that moment. And Nancy Pelosi are saying, no, let's not focus on immigration. Let's make sure the message is healthcare. Wait, what? I thought we'd moved past all that.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The tax cut deal, with the tax cuts last year, that basically destroyed Obamacare. I mean, we still have it here in California with our wonderful California, covered California. Hello, Basil. And it's so funny because there's a Republican guy I know who hated Obama, and he's got Obamacare. He even asked me the other day, have you got Obamacare? No, I did. It was useful for a while, but then somehow when the taxes hit, I'd end up paying a lot. So, and somebody warned me about that, and I was, okay, whatever. The alternative was, ooh, shall we post a picture of redwoods? I think we shall. I have this lovely picture. This is somewhere. I don't have a map of this, because I don't have GPS on my regular camera. This is somewhere up in the hills, just outside of Boonville, on your way to Mendocino. And, lovely treat. Now, interestingly, I just realized this looking at this picture. You can see it at mikesdailypodcast.com. Whatever my name is. mikesdailypodcast.com. The outlines of the sky that you see through the trees was the inspiration for the strange designs in the background of the spaceship that the new Doctor Who travels in. Which, by the way, when I played that music on my last show, YouTube totally dinged me. You're playing music that you did not create yourself. You have to take that off. Blah, blah, blah. Stupid YouTube. And they're sponsoring the World Series. It's brought to you by YouTube. Let's go out to the ball game. somebody invited me to come over and watch the World Series, and I said, "Oh, is that some sort of sporting event?" Ha ha ha. And yes, it is, involving this ball and this bat. But the outline of the sky is the inspiration. The swirls that you see is the TARDIS, the background of the TARDIS. That's time and relative dimensions in space is what that stands for. And it is how the Doctor Who, although he doesn't go by the name Doctor Who, just don't play along. And he or she now travels through time, and he or she travels through space with it. So the point is, where did I go with all of this? That Richmond. Oh my God! So a couple weeks ago, I went to a party, and some characters walked in, and the Russians helped, and Elizabeth Warren will run for president.
America elected Donald Trump, and the Russians helped.
And look who's here.
Hi, Mike Matthews, the Chely Shoehart, the job supervisor, stupid retainers.
Yeah, retainers suck.
They help my teeth, Mike Matthews.
They've been helping your teeth for like 20 years. Shelley, when are you going to get those taken out? You came on to my show, the Santa Fe Cafe, back in Ventura County years ago. And now you are here.
Yes, Mike Matthews, thank you for all that backstory, and I still have retainers. Thanks for pointing that out, idiot.
Sorry. She's the gift shop supervisor.
I'm supposed to say that. I'm the gift shop supervisor.
Ted Cruz was on the Hugh Hewitt show. By the way, Hugh Hewitt, if you're listening, which I know you are, you're not, but do not do your show when your voice sounds so awful. Your voice, here's the thing. Your voice, I know you are a tough warrior, and you want to do your conservative talk show, and you want to show off to the world that you know all this legalese, legal crap, and you usually talk so fast that none of us can follow you. But you've got to not be on the radio when your voice sounds like a frog being crumpled up in a wood chipper. You sound horrible. It makes us all feel bad for you when you sound like a wood chipper frog. So I would say, Hugh Hewitt, stay off the radio for a while. Take a rest. Drink a hot toddy. Relax and enjoy your time off. You don't need to be on the radio that bad. Yes, the midterm elections are coming up. Yes, I know you don't want that blue wave to happen in the House, which everybody seems to be thinking it is. And Republicans are hedging their bets by going, well, it's voter fraud that caused it. And they're, pulling out all the stops, pulling out the immigration, I guess sending bombs to people. I don't know. But Hugh Hewitt had Ted Cruz on today. And Ted Cruz sounded somewhat pleasant. I despise Ted Cruz. The only thing I like about Trump is that he's not Ted Cruz. Because Ted Cruz is just, ugh. There's something odd going on there is all I'm saying. When someone wraps themselves, this is the thing. If you're born again, that's great. You're saved by the blood of Jesus Christ. That's great for you. I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you found a way that's not self-destructive. But some people and I've seen this time and time again, they get too crazy for Jesus to the point that Jesus would be probably saying, hey, back off, man. Because they are just so like, you got to believe in Jesus. One guy I know, actually, who got born again after years and years of partying and reckless, one-night stands, etc., and drugs. He became a born-again Christian, and then he told his friends that I can't be friends with you because we're not equally yoked, which I hate that term. It sounds like somebody, like an egg fight. We've all been equally yoked. And so I get this extremity, the extremistness of some born-agains really puts me off. And they seem like they're brainwashed. It's like somebody removed that part of the brain. Is it a frontal lobotomy? I'd rather have that than a bottle in front of me. But that joke I've used many times. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, this is an interesting discussion about things. Yeah, and I'm offended.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
I am sorry for offending you, Floyd. Are you a Christian? Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting, too, is the amount of Christians now that are going Democrat because they look at Trump and go, no, I know he's the Republican candidate and Republicans are all about Christians and born-agains, but this guy, he hates immigrants, he hates people, he hates women, he hates, the hate goes on and on and on, and they can't reconcile with it. So they're able to go with the Democrats because even though they got to deal with some gays, and even though they got to deal with abortion, there's still other things like helping the poor. That appeals to a lot of Christians because Jesus was constantly talking about you can't ignore the poor. For in the what was it? You will get through heaven. It's easier for you to go through the eye of a needle than to get into heaven if you're like a rich person, something to that effect. These things, that's all. It's interesting because in Wisconsin, they were actually pulling from the rhetoric in the Democratic Party. Now, this is on the other side, saying that, we shouldn't be so pro-choice. We should be a little bit more pro-life and accept everyone. And that set off everybody who is pro-choice in the Democrat Party going, what? No. And they actually ended up taking that, putting that back in, taking it out, rather, the pro-life rhetoric. Pro. Are you enjoying this prose that I'm bringing you today as we go outside of Café Anyway? We're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. So that's where we're going, looking at leaves, looking at trees, looking at Richmond. So this Richmond party that I went to, there was a British girl there who my lovely lady friend knew all the people at this party. And I asked her about this woman later, this British woman, who was so sarcastic. And I know I got a bit of sarcasm in this show. A little bit. Just a teeny weeny, itsy bitsy tacky type of it. Yep. In my show. But oh my God, this woman, everything, you couldn't take anything she said seriously. I would say to her, so are you enjoying the beginning of fall? And she'd say, yeah, it's really great. I didn't quite know how to take that. Does that mean, yeah, it's really great, or? Yeah, I don't have a sarcasm meter, so I just say whatever. It sounds sarcastic. Oh, wait, she was British, too. I don't have a sarcasm meter, so I hope it sounds sarcastic. It's my bad British. So the point is some people have that dark sarcasm going all the time, which I think I pulled that from a Pink Floyd song. They're British. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Here's the last thing I'd like to point out, and that is something I don't quite understand, which is going on in Oakland right now. You go into downtown Oakland, and you see all these condos, and right next to the condos are tent cities. I bleep you not. It is the most bizarre thing. It's happening right now, and it's so easy. Heck, I didn't even know where I was going. I was driving through downtown Oakland, and I just happened upon it. I'm like, oh, to my right, tent cities. To my left, condos. Interesting. And the condos are probably more than I paid for my house for. So this is just what? What is this? Is the question. And maybe this guy can ask that question even more emphatically than I just did. I hope he can. Let's see.
What is this?
Yeah, he did pretty good.
Whoa.
So, to sum up, that's what the world is now going through. These things. And leaves are beautiful, and trees are awesome, and redwood trees are beautiful, and we have that in California along with tent cities and condos and sarcastic people. We have beautiful redwoods. And in Northern California, we have those, and you should go check them out if you live in this area, is what I would suggest to you. I would implore you to do. And that it is interesting when an AM radio station... You know, I worked with an AM radio station, well, a couple of them over my 30-plus years in radio. And it's so fascinating because AM radio stations have the ability to be heard on the other side of the globe. In fact, one AM radio station I worked for recently was heard in Lapland, Finland. Can you believe that bleep? Amazing. And that's the power of radio. I know that this podcast is heard all over the globe thanks to the internet, as long as the internet exists. But that's pretty cool stuff with the AM transmitter, and it does go to the goofy ham radio side, which I never had. I never did ham radio, but I get the concept, and I think that's pretty cool. But no thanks for me. I'm not going to build a radio, but I can barely build a sandwich. With that note, thank you for listening to the show. Next show, it's going to be a bunch of people like Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. And thank you. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com is the website to go to. I do a little bit of self-promotion here and there on this show, and I just did some. There's a lady who comes in to record a show at the job I have, and she is, when she gets on her show, it's basically a huge commercial for her, and she's the sweetest, nicest lady, and then you put her in the seat of the radio show that she is doing, and she's total promotion mode, promotion monster. She promotes not only her business on the show, but also, hey, I can do voiceover work. Hey, I can be an MC. Hey, I can be an actress. Hey, I can host a talk show. Hey, I can blah, blah, blah. All this entertainment stuff. And she asked me after recording her show, hey, do you know how I can get into any of that? Like, I want to be on the radio. And, I want to, live off the money I make on the... Yeah, good luck with that. That's not happening. That's happening for a couple people in this world that have already built up a brand on TV or movies or something else. Maybe they were a viral internet sensation. I don't know. Maybe they robbed a bank and they became famous. But it's not just that easy, and you can't really make much money in this business. On that happy note, thank you, and hope you enjoyed this podcast, which I do for you for free every day. Mike'sDailyPodcast.com to find out all the past podcast pictures and past shows. Thank you.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at Mike'sDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!